we touched on this a little bit earlier, but Erin, I know you guys started selling direct to consumer about over a year ago, and Jess, I know you guys, it's only been the past summer that you started doing that. So, what encouraged you guys to take that leap, a gigantic leap of faith, actually, in my opinion, in starting that, and kind of some of the challenges you guys have faced in that transition? And if you've done anything in particular that has made this venture easier and well received. So, Erin, do you kind of want to start?
Sure. So I started my direct to consumer journey last year. I would say I started kind of hyping it up, for lack of a better word, maybe last May. So it's been about a year. My first direct to consumer sale happened in October of 2019. So we're kind of approaching a year in terms of sales. How to decide to take the leap. So what I would say is that our ranch, similar to, I guess, Jess's timing, we're not that different. We have been selling cattle to a commercial co-op since 2012. So it's something we've been selling cattle to our co-op. We still do. We're very close with them. We believe in what they're doing. They're called Country Natural Beef. And that's something that we will continue to do. So for me, it wasn't this like giant leap of faith. I just thought, let's just start small. So, and the reason I wanted to do this was because I just kept getting questions like, well, how can we buy your beef? And I'm like, well, they sell it like at Whole Foods and that's our co-op, you can go there. But they're like, no, we want like your beef, like from your ranch. And I was like, well, once in a while we process for our personal use and I could sell you some. And it felt like there was this need in our community of people that wanted locally raised beef. So I talked to my parents and said, why don't we give this a try? And we actually had kind of a weird situation happen that was such a gift to my direct to consumer program. We had I digress a bit, but this plays back into my story. We had a chef from London, from a pretty well-known steakhouse over in London, come over to our ranch last winter of 2019. And they were opening a steakhouse in New York City, which is still opening, but a bit delayed by COVID, but it's called the Hawksmoor. And they were looking for cattle that were humanely treated and raised, and they wanted some of our beef. So my dad said, great, no problem. We're gonna carve off this, chunk for you guys. So we're finishing this big chunk of cattle for them, and lo and behold, the restaurant got delayed and it didn't happen in time, and then COVID happened, and it was just this whole spiral. So these cattle were just finished and just waiting for someone to sell them. Enter my direct-to-consumer business. So I kind of had it teed up to have these animals ready for me, which was such a blessing. But it really wasn't a big leap for me because I saw the need in our community. I thought if we started small, I'd rather be sold out than have more inventory. So I just start with a few cattle here and there, and then it just kind of builds, and that's where we are. So for us, it was more a decision to like meet a need in the community versus like totally changing our sales strategy. So our ranch right now is doing 100%, we're selling to our co-op, not 100% of our cattle, but we're committed to our co-op sales, and then we're also committed to the direct to consumer. So it's kind of just like a slight deviation off of our normal business model.
Oh, Erin, we are two peas in a pod, man. We're basically the same thing in Colorado and Nevada. But for us, the same thing. We just saw, we had people in our community just keep coming to us like, no, I want your guys' stuff. Like, I don't want to go to our local grocery store and buy from them. So basically how we started is I started our website just as like an informational, like about us, like this is about our hay, this is about our cows, whatnot, a few years ago. And we had, our logo, we had a new logo made, and my dad was all excited. And then in beginning of 2019, January of 2019, my dad and I were just kind of like spitballing ideas. And I said, look, we've had a lot of people come to us like wanting to buy beef. What if we just sold like cuts of beef directly to consumers rather than selling wholes? Because a lot of people don't want the whole steer. They don't have the room for it in their freezer or whatever. They're like, I just want a couple of steaks for date night or whatever it may be. And so my dad's like, love it, research it, figure it out. I said, okay. So it took me over a year of researching because Nevada is not the most butcher friendly state. So it took me over a year to, get the website where I wanted it, get some steers cut out and start finishing them. Because like you, we have 200 fall calves and 200 spring calves that we sell a year. And those usually we sell through Superior Livestock. But we're like, let's just try it. And we started with 2 because we didn't want to put inventory. We didn't want to get stuck. We didn't have the freezer space for it. So we started with 2 steers that we finished. We figured out, the difference between USDA slaughter, USDA processing, and then just state inspected, and all the different laws. We got on the schedule to a USDA facility in Nevada, which at the time there was only one in all of Nevada. So it had a bit of a wait list. So we took it in February. We got it back in March and got it live, and during that whole time, I was just reaching out to different ranches on Instagram, like, hey, what do you use for shipping boxes? Or how did you decide on your prices or whatever? And I just asked as many people as I could, which is why I always tell people, please come talk to me, please ask me. Because I was that person asking people, like, how do I pack a box to ship it? I don't even know, what do I mark it with? And ranchers are just, we're the friendliest bunch and so willing to help. But so we had it live in March and we ended up selling out completely in 2 weeks. So we were like, oh no, we don't have more steers ready. So then we cut out, a few more and a few more. But then COVID hit and then the USDA slaughter plants all kind of, got backed up. And then we ended up having to be on someone's schedule that was like 4 months out. And then they ended up having their USDA license revoked or suspended for a few weeks. And it ended up being a whole thing. So I would say the one hurdle that we've had to face in this transition is just getting our meat processed. Once you have the steers finished, like, you only have a certain window to get it processed. And it's been really difficult in our rural area to do that. But I know we have a few more scheduled down in the fall, and right now we have 1 restaurant and 2 food trucks in Nevada that want to carry our stuff, permanently, but I don't have the inventory for them right now. So we're continuing to grow. We're really excited about it. But yeah, I would just, that's just something that people need to think about is right now, there's a lot of butcher shops that are backed up until 2021 even. So always be mindful of that sometimes your finishing schedule doesn't match the processing schedule.
Oh yeah. Do you want us to talk about the difficulties here, Ashley?
Yeah. That was actually, I was just getting ready to say, Jess, you kind of touched on some of the challenges. So, I mean, I can only imagine that, Jess, you said it took you almost a whole year before you felt ready. What are some of the hurdles that you guys have had to jump through? Challenges, whether that's, getting started and like boxing beef. I would have never have thought about, shipping beef, to another state, what that even looks like. So yeah, Erin, what are some of the challenges and hurdles you guys have faced?
Yeah, the number one hurdle that Ann just mentioned is pipeline. Pipeline is a tremendous frustration for everyone in our shoes. We're not alone, it's everyone. But if I back up a little bit, in terms of kind of the barriers to entry to this direct to consumer business that both Jess and I have ventured into alongside our other commercial part of the ranching business, which I think is smart to kind of diversify your sales channels. One, yes, is like the very first hurdle is your website. That takes so long. And I always laugh. I'm sure Jess, you're in the same boat, but I'll get, like, once in a while I've gotten an email or something and it's like, well, should I direct this like to your sales department or like your, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's me.
Yep.
Like, I'm sales, I'm IT, I'm head poop scooper, usually in the horse. I do it all. I always think that's funny that people like think you're this like elaborate operation when really you're like, no, I made the website. Like, let me go tweak that. Hold on. So just getting your website up and going. That's a huge undertaking. And then it's coming up with your online sales platform. There's everything from Shopify to Volusion to whatever you want to use. So you got to do a whole e-commerce platform. And then there's your distribution channel. How are you going to store it? How are you going to sell it? I was really lucky and I was able to go to a seminar that really gave me a kickstart in the direct sales business. It's put on by a woman named Mary Heffernan. She has 5 Mary's Farms. She's become pretty well known in the direct to consumer. And I went to Mary's workshop and I met, I jump in by saying I met these great girls because that's really who I fall back on that I took most out of the workshop. But I really got a good head start into like how to get my boxes, where to get my boxes, what size boxes, what are values I need in my liners, like all the things, right? So for me, I feel very blessed I was able to do that and I got a huge leg up. Jess, we can talk about that stuff whenever you want, but so that kind of gave me my head start in how to actually get it out to people. So the barriers to entry are high. I mean, you have to be able to finish that steer and then have the timing to get it processed. And I mean, I had dates booked. Here's a story for you. I had dates booked for all of 2020. And 2 weeks after COVID shut everything down, our processing plant that I had my dates booked with had a fire and they had to close down. So I had my dates booked for, yeah, that's so, and then yes, it has to be USDA. So I'm scrambling to find new dates. And it's been a struggle. I already have my dates booked all the way through 2021. Like you have to be so forward thinking in this direct to consumer business, and having your pipeline match up to those 2021 dates is nothing short of a miracle. I mean, it's kind of, I'm not embarrassed to say it's still kind of a crapshoot for me. I'm like, yeah, I'll do this many every month, and I'm just hoping I have them ready on those dates. So I would say website, e-commerce, distribution. Let's not forget storage. Like Jess said, she did 2 her first time. I think I did 5 my first time, and it was like, oh my gosh, where's this all going to go? And I did a lot of pre-sales, and that's what saved me, is I was able to kind of pre-sell a lot of stuff my first order. But you know, having the storage for all these animals is another big hurdle to think about. You don't want to have 10 stand-up freezers, you know, in your parents' garage, like trying to sell beef out of. So it's definitely something that that ranchers can't take lightly if they want to get into it. In terms of profitability, I'm not sure. We're not quite there. I hope to be there soon in terms of kind of our break-even point. I think it has a big cash outlay to start between your freezers and your boxes and your finishing and your internet, your e-commerce platforms and your photography and all that. So I don't want to sound negative on it. I'm so glad that we're doing it and we're here for the long haul, and I'm all in and I love it. But I think just being realistic about the challenges that come with it. It's not all like rosy glasses. Like it takes a lot of work that Jess and I know. It's a lot of late nights, but it's so great and rewarding to be able to share our product with people in our community. So it's worth it. With all that said.
Absolutely. And I was cracking up when you said that someone asked you like, oh, can I talk to your sales department? Because I had someone call me and they're like, and I'm like, hold on one sec. Yeah, this is Jess with sales. But anyway, that's so funny that, yeah, you wear many hats in this area.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have much to add on to that. I mean, the way we you know, kind of pulled the trigger was based on, you know, we sold, you know, 550-pound calves at this price. If we finish them, it's going to cost us this much to finish them. And then our average, you know, our average per pound, if we just beef them out, is $10 or whatever it may be. So really, it was just like, we can't ignore that profit, and we can't keep letting, you know, these big 4 processing plants keep eating up those profit margins either. So I think that, you know, it's something we're definitely going to keep doing, and we're going to keep growing, and I'm really excited about it.
That's so awesome that you guys are taking on this crazy adventure, for lack of a better term, because I think that's what it's come to be for you guys. You know, we talked about the challenges, but has there been anything in particular that has made this venture easier, or you know, well, I'm assuming just based on kind of, Jess, you talked about you guys were sold out in 2 weeks back in March. You know, has it been well received, you know, to people in your area? You know, what does that kind of look like?
Yeah, so for us, you know, we weren't really sure how our local community would take it or if they'd be interested in it. You know, we were a little bit more expensive than our local grocery store on some items, not all items, but 90% of our sales are local. So it's definitely something that there's an interest for. And we use Squarespace for our website. And Squarespace has this option to where if something is sold out, then a consumer can enter their email on it and it will automatically notify them when it's back in stock. And I just checked the wait list a few days ago, and the wait list is like 20 long on some items. And most of them I recognize, you know, the so-and-so at Gmail or whatever, and they're all local. So it's been so well received. I mean, I'm constantly, every time I see anyone out and about at the grocery store or softball or wherever it may be, they're always like, when are you getting beef in? When are you getting beef in? So it's kind of tricky because we sold out so quickly that we were worried we would like make everyone upset because we didn't restock soon enough. But I feel like, you know, everyone's been super understanding. We try to explain, you know, the COVID situation and whatnot. So as long as we keep, you know, trying to be transparent, trying to be informative, trying to keep people like along, you know, then it's going to keep growing. But one thing that we were able to just do that we're really excited about is we had a cow that we were just going to do for our own personal use. And then we ended up donating 100 pounds of beef, ground beef, to just local families who, you know, may not be able to afford beef otherwise because the price of beef has gone up so high in our community. So that's something that we did yesterday. We got to deliver all that beef to all these families, and it was so amazing and just a fantastic day. So I think, you know, the more we could do stuff like that, the more we could grow our business. It's something I'm really excited for. And like Erin said, I'm all in.
That's a great story, Jesse. I got goosebumps on my legs. That's really cool that you did that.
Oh, thank you.
So Ashley, you were saying like what's made it easier, or like what's been something that's like helped us do this? I would say I mentioned a little bit ago, so I did this kind of course that helped launch me into it, and there's a couple. So Five Marys has one. Also, Charlotte Smith is really well followed, and she has a really affordable, great course on farm to market marketing. So she's one I highly recommend too. So having kind of these mentors has been really helpful. And then through these programs, I met this like sisterhood of girls that I never even knew that I needed in my life, and we've become best friends. They're actually all coming in 2 days, and we're going to spend a whole week from all over the country. There's 6 of us, and we're spending a whole weekend just brainstorming and fixing our websites and making our subscriptions better. And having, I guess I'm trying to say, is having this community of people that you can ask anything to at any hour of the night about your business is so important. And that goes for any industry, whether you're you know, a rancher or a banker. Like having kind of industry experts is helpful, but finding like-minded people that are around my same demographic has been really, really helpful. We have this app on there's another social media app called Marco Polo, and it's like a kind of a group talking text chain. So someone will say, hey, I got this customer who just wants to order like 1 pack of hot dogs and it's going to cost me $50 to ship it. Like, what should I do? And then someone else chimes in, here's what I usually do. And it's just, we all can like ask these questions that you might not have the answer to starting a direct to consumer beef business. And everybody has a different take on it. You know, there's a girl in Nebraska, there's a girl in Kansas, there's a girl in California, there's me. Just geographically having that diversification in different expertise has been really helpful for me. So I think what I would say what's made it easier is having good mentors, enrolling in courses that were financially feasible. Like I said, there's some that are $100 for a webinar. There's some that are $400 for an awesome set of information. You know, then there's kind of like Cadillac that might be like, you know, $3,500 or something. So there's kind of a whole like financial spectrum of courses you can take, but that helped me jumpstart. I don't think I give you props, Jess, if you didn't take a course, because that would be hard for me to even know where to start. So getting some mentorship and some direction, I guess, would be my advice that makes it easier.
So that kind of, honestly, Erin, kind of segues into my last question, which is do you have any advice to give to ranchers who are looking to start into direct to consumer, which Erin, you kind of, I would assume, touched, based on what you just said, that kind of answers some of those questions, but do you have anything else to add to that? And for somebody who is wanting to do something like this?
I don't have much to add. I would say surround yourself with really good mentors. That's my, when people ask my parents, like, how did you get into ranching at the age of like 58 or whatever it was, they just said mentors. Like, they have great friends, they have people they can ask. We partner closely with organizations like Where Food Comes From and IMI and Colorado State University, and all the good things you can surround yourself with is going to be helpful in the end, and just really like aligning yourself with those people. Uh-oh, can you guys still see me? Apparently I'm getting a phone call. Okay, good. That was weird. Sorry, technical issues. So, and then I would recommend doing some kind of course, whether it's Charlotte Smith or something that's just like a good entry level, someone who's been there, done that. There's some books out there too, to kind of give you the basics, because the learning curve in shipping beef particularly is really high. There's dry ice involved, there's rules around dry ice, there's the USDA laws around shipping beef across state lines. So having someone that can actually fill you in on that before you just say, I can figure this out. Don't figure it out. Call someone, text Jess or I on the side and ask how we're doing it, or ask for like some good resources, because you don't want your product to spoil. Like, that's like the saddest thing when you ship a box of beef and it gets stuck in a facility, or you didn't add enough dry ice, or you used the wrong box and then you had to do it again. And don't just wing it. Like, you can wing all this stuff, like the social media and marketing and being the website girl, but when it comes to shipping, ask those around you that can help you, and they'll be your biggest cheerleaders, like Jess said. That's
Absolutely. And I don't have anything to add. I think you said it perfectly. Like I said, when I just got started, I just Googled like people who were doing it, and ranch raised beef was like the #1 on Google. So I reached out to one on Instagram. And they were so nice and helpful, and then a couple other ones. But so like then once I got going, then I just try to be like them, just try to be super helpful to other people. But yeah, just ask as many questions as you can. It doesn't hurt to get more knowledge, more knowledge is more power. Then you can kind of narrow down what you want to do based on your geographic location, or how rural you are, or how far the post office is, or whatever it may be. So yeah, like Erin said, just try to get as much information as possible from as many people as possible. Because we're all in this together. Like you said at the beginning, as long as you're eating beef, we're happy campers, so.
Sure.
No, that's so cool. Well, I can't thank you guys enough. Taking time out of your busy schedules to sit in with us and talk about, best. Real quick, if you don't mind putting a plug in and letting people know where they can follow you, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, if you guys do Twitter, I don't know. But Erin, will you kind of start and kind of give, can find you guys?
Sure. Thanks for the opportunity, for having us as well. I mean, all this is just great to get our story out, and to be able to be a part of Where Food Comes From, and especially the Beef Care Program. But you can find us at eaglerockbeef.com is our website, Eagle Rock Beef, and our Instagram is Eagle Rock Ranch Co. for Colorado. So all of our information's there, and I hope you guys want to follow us. And if not, Facebook, we're also just Eagle Rock Ranch. I think Facebook and Instagram have really become one and the same. So thank you for the opportunity, Ashley, to get our name out there and to talk today. It's really been fun, and fun getting to know you better, Jess, as well. I'm sure we'll have plenty of sidebars after this.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Ashley, and Where Food Comes From and IMI. You guys are doing a great job, and you're making it really easy for people like us. So we really appreciate the work that you guys do. Like I said, I'm Jess. You can find me at Perigo Hay and Cattle. That's Facebook, Instagram, all of that stuff. It's Perigo. and our website is perigohaycattle.com. And then just click the Shop Beef tab.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining. If you have any questions about verification or are interested in anything like what these ladies are doing on their operations, please reach. You can call us at 303-895-30. Check us out on our website, which is www. So thank you guys.